What's going on, guys? We are back once again, and we are finally going to be going over the Santa Clauses Season 2. So, I already gave my first impressions of the series. Now, I'm pretty much just going to talk about the season finale. What do I think about it? Will there ever be a Season 3? I'm actually shocked that there was a Season 2 to begin with. So, Season 2, with the ending, if you guys have already watched it, there is a lot of answered questions. There's a lot of I wouldn't say unanswered, but with the way they kind of ended off this season, kind of did feel like another possible series finale. And in some ways, I would not mind another season, but in ways I don't. And I'm going to go into reasons why here in a minute. But the way just shortened up the story, and they made it pretty quick, was of course, Magnus Santa's coming to the North Pole, gathering his powers, and find out his amulet was actually the mug that Scott has been drinking since the very first one that Judy gave him, and him and Magnus just fighting over different areas, and then realizing, of course, how powerful his daughter is, and then trying to turn Cal back into a human, and the gnomes actually having a treaty now with the elves, and between Betty and the other head gnome having a fight, which again, I'm going to say this now. I mean, I understand these are kid actors here, guys, but it literally looked like just a plain fight in a playground. That's pretty much how it was. And with them finally coming out of a truce after their fight, we see, of course, Santa winning and Scott saying that he's not going to have him turn into a nutcracker, and Magnus knows what he did was wrong. And it seems like between him and Gabriel Glace's character Chris is going to be working at that theme park 50-50. And it seems like it does very well. Gets him a lot of money, a lot of tourist attraction, which is what Chris wanted. And I thought it was cool. I did not mind his character. They actually had it make sense because he actually saw Scott Calvin, aka Santa, when he was a kid, which was, of course, in the first movie, with him seeing him with the green kayak. So I thought that was kind of cool. There was a few other funny moments, especially him meeting La Befama for the first time, and then of course meeting Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and all that stuff. It was cool. With them ending it the way they did. It seems like, again, they're bringing the prom to Cal and his girlfriend, Riley. Looks like now she's wanting to be with him again, so now he's going to be all happy. And it looks like they're going to allow him pretty much to do the same thing Charlie did, was to stay on, I guess, on Earth, or I don't know how you want to say it, but in civilization, to where he can live out his life the way he's going to. Honestly, it makes sense. I'm going to say this now. Cal's an idiot. He's a goofball. I don't like the character. I think he's one of those characters. He needs to be sidelined. He's one of those who's just rather annoying, and it's time that he needs to go. Let him do the same thing Charlie did. I know a lot of people, including myself, would prefer if Charlie would be the next Santa. It ain't gonna happen. That's just the way they wrote it because he's too busy being a dad, which makes sense. But who's going to be the next Santa? Don't know. I think it still needs to be Scott for however many years until they write something more stupid than what they've done the last 2 seasons. Was because at first they wanted that first idiot to try to be the new Santa, and then now they want another idiot to be Santa. So it's like, okay, just have Scott be Santa. Leave the whole trying to find a replacement Santa alone. Just leave it alone. That's what's been killing some of the writing. And I feel like a lot of this writing this season just has been very cringe, has been very boring. I didn't laugh a lot this season. I like Tim Allen. I support everything he does, but again, it just didn't feel like the Santa Claus. It hasn't, and I feel like part of that is Disney's fault because of them wanting to put so much cringe into a series, and it sucks. And I'm sorry. The Santa Clauses is not that good of a show. Honestly, I would not recommend it for other fans like Betty and No. I'm glad they're leaving. I'm hoping they leave. I don't like those characters. They're annoying. It's cringe writing. I think they're crap characters. I want Judy back. I want Bernard back. I want Curtis back. We finally got an answer on what happened to Curtis, that he went on that vacation. He never came back. Same thing happened to Bernard. Hopefully that Betty and Noel don't return. I don't like those characters, and I'm praying that they don't come back. And I'm hoping that all we got to deal with, honestly, is Scott and his wife and their daughter. That's all. And of course, Llama Fama and then the rest of the elves and everybody else. Deal with that. I mean, or just don't have the series come back. I mean, at that rate, it's one of those times where I'm sorry, the Santa Clauses ain't that doing that well. Guys, I don't really see no promotion for this show. I don't see no one talking about this show. So it kind of makes you wonder, is the show actually doing as well as you would think? Honestly, I don't think it is. And that's kind of sad because, again, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen is a legendary cult classic in my opinion. And I know a lot of people probably feel the same way I do. It just feels like that Disney is, again, wanting to take things that is a cult classic and wanting to bastardize it and make it into their own messed up, woke ideology, cringe writing where it doesn't make sense, and they want to give you a few feel goods here and there, and they just don't feel right. It just don't feel normal. It doesn't feel like it makes sense. And again, when I say woke, I mean, look at some of the stuff that they're wanting to put into a show that makes no sense. I mean, they're wanting to focus more on the elves, which again doesn't make sense, especially for some characters like Betty and Noel. Again, no one, to my knowledge, there ain't really a whole lot of people that like those characters. And also, same thing with Cal. Cal's an idiot, and oh, let's make him the next Santa. It's like, come on, like, do you not have a brain? It's like, it feels like they like. I'm wondering if a grown person even wrote this script. I really wonder that. Like, how much writing was actually written? Because again, they made Scott Calvin look like a buffoon, and we know he can be a buffoon sometimes, but not this much of a buffoon. He's a lot smarter than what he is. Come on, it makes the character look stupid, and he's not stupid. I don't know what to say here, guys. I really don't. I'm hoping that it either gets better or just doesn't come back. That's how I feel about it. But what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the Santa Claus of season 2? If you did, that's great, good for you. If you didn't, that's fine too. But those are my thoughts about it. I'm gonna release this a lot earlier than what I originally did, but let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.